Good. You guys have been friends for years, and like he just said, it's taken about 9 years to get this together. What was it about this story that really made you want to, get together and work so hard to make it get on film? Why were you so passionate about this idea?
I mean, I think it kept coming back. We have lots of ideas, and as much as we keep being pushed towards other ones, there are other ones that are easier sells for people, I think, but this one was ours, and it just kept popping back up. It kept feeling relevant. It kept feeling like there was part of a conversation that wasn't being had, that we had a piece of, that it felt like could be useful if it got out there. And so I think that's why we certainly tried to leave it alone plenty of times, and we still kept coming back to it.
Well, you do touch on a lot of important subjects right now, things like gentrification, Black Lives Matter, and everything like that. Why do you think it's important to get the conversation out there with the film?
I think that, there's a counter-narrative that doesn't get told. In gentrification, we don't hear the story of the people being pushed out. In police violence, the person who died doesn't get to tell their side of it. And I think we need 90 minutes of your time to counterweight the conversation. So we talk a lot about urgency in our work. Let's take on the work that feels the most urgent. And like every time we would read this script, we're like, wow, it's sad, but this is more urgent this year than it was last year. More urgent, every day that goes by. And so I think we finally get to tell this story. We just kept updating the scripts, every year that it didn't get made, and like, well, here's what the conversation is now, and we got to make it at this particular time, and I hope it resonates with people, and I hope it furthers the conversation.
Well, one thing I noticed is that in the scenes that I've seen so far is that not only is it serious, but there's a lot of lighter stuff too. How important was it to you to sort of keep that balance going?
I think that was, that's the honesty of how we deal with things, right? I mean, nobody's sad all the time. We live in a very heavy world right now. We probably always have, but if you're paying attention, shit sucks in a lot of ways right now. But
humor is salvation.
Yeah, we tell a lot of jokes, and there's also something important about the sort of male friendship aspect of it that we were circling around, and that's what me and my guy friends do.
Right.
Rafa says all the time there are like two acceptable male emotions, which are anger and humor. Like that's what we are allowed to present. And so when you talk about two guys dealing with some really hard shit, that's what we do. I was just talking to my friend the other day who was going through a horrible breakup, and all I did was make him laugh. That's, you know what I'm saying? He told me how horrible his life was, and I told him, I turned those things into jokes. And that's how we go.
Well, one interesting thing about your characters is your character is basically trying to stay on the up and up, and this guy is sort of a bad influence. Have you ever had friends like that where you really like them, but they get you into trouble sometimes?
Yeah. That's why we wrote one. Yeah, and also, the characters are under different restraints and different and trying to sort through different things.
I think Miles being seen as a bad influence, or it depends on the context in which you approach his character. And certainly if you approach it from Miles' context, he's like the most loyal human he knows, which is such an that is an underrated, that's a thing that you don't see a lot anymore. Like Miles is sort of a dying breed of human who, for the people who are close to him, will actually do anything.
Yeah. All right, well, best of luck, guys. Thanks a lot.